Okay, so let's dive in. Today we're digging into prompt crafting, AI mastery. And the source material we looked at has this really specific technique laid out. Pretty interesting stuff.
It does, yeah. It's
Yeah.
all about something called prompt cross-referencing.
Cross-referencing.
Mm-hmm. Between different LLMs, so different large language models.
Okay, prompt cross-referencing. That sounds
Yeah.
technical, maybe. So for you listening, if you use, I don't know, ChatGPT, maybe Claude, Gemini,
Right. Any of them.
why would you take the same prompt and like send it to all these different AIs? What's the point? What's the source saying is the benefit here?
Yeah, good question. The ultimate goal, at least according to this material, is to build what they actually call an ultimate master prompt.
An ultimate master prompt.
Yeah. So it's not just about getting a prompt that works okay on, say, one specific model. The technique is more about actively testing it, refining it, seeing how it does across different AIs.
I see. So you watch how it performs.
Exactly. And you use that feedback. Where does one AI do really well with it? Where does another one kind of fail or misunderstand?
Right.
And you use those differences, that comparison, to basically iterate, to build a prompt structure that just works, consistently giving you what you want.
Regardless of the model.
Ideally, yeah. Or at least much more reliably across the capable ones.
Okay, so it's like finding the prompt version of a universal key. It doesn't just unlock an answer. It unlocks the best possible answer more reliably from different AI systems.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
So how does the source suggest you actually do that? The cross-referencing and the refining bit.
Yeah.
Did they find specific things? Like how do different models actually react differently?
Yeah, they definitely get into that. The material points out that, well, models often have these subtle differences, sometimes not so subtle, actually.
And how they interpret things.
Exactly. How they interpret your instructions. Like, one thing the research highlighted was phrasing constraints.
Constraints.
Yeah.
Like limits you put on the output.
Precisely. So, saying, do not include X, that's a negative constraint, right? Versus saying, only include Y and Z, a positive one.
Right.
The results you get can be dramatically different depending on the model you're talking to. Some might be really strict about the do not include part. Others might, well, ignore it, but perfectly nail the positive instruction.
Huh. That's actually a really key detail. So it's not just test everywhere. It's more like look for patterns. Patterns in how they succeed or fail based on how you phrase things, like those constraints.
You got it. The source material really focuses on identifying those model-specific sensitivities. It suggests that when you cross-reference, you start seeing which parts of your prompt work well pretty much everywhere.
The universal bits.
Right. And which parts are really model-dependent, causing issues on some but not others.
Okay.
So the refinement process, according to this research, is about kind of stripping away the flaky model-dependent stuff, or maybe rephrasing it, and really strengthening those universal elements, maybe adding more explicit structure or clearer examples that most AIs can grasp.
Okay, finding that common language, that structure that just clicks across different AI brains, so to speak. So what does this ultimate master prompt actually look like then? Once you've done all this refining, what are its characteristics based on the source?
Well, according to the material, it tends to be very explicit, highly structured.
More detailed.
Definitely more detailed. Often includes things like, okay, clearly defined roles, like who you are in the prompt and who the AI should be.
Personas.
Exactly. Detailed context is key. Unambiguous constraints may be using both positive and negative phrasing to cover the bases.
Hedging your bets.
Kind of, yeah. And specifying the output format, clearly you want JSON or bullet points, whatever. Sometimes even embedding little examples right in the instruction, not just separate few-shot examples. The idea is clarity and redundancy, really, making sure the core request gets through despite different model tendencies.
Fascinating. So a master prompt isn't necessarily shorter or cleverer in the tricky sense. It's just robust, comprehensive, built to withstand the different ways models might interpret things. Okay, so let's bring this back to you listening. The core idea we've unpacked here is using this prompt cross-referencing, testing your prompts across different LLMs. And the goal isn't just finding what works best on one AI, it's about gaining those deeper insights into how all these models behave, which then lets you refine your prompts based on performance everywhere, working towards that ultimate master prompt, one designed for top effectiveness, tough consistency, no matter which AI you use.
Exactly. And maybe a final thought to leave you with, something to chew on. How does this whole idea actively trying to figure out what works across all AIs, aiming for this ultimate master prompt, how does that change the way you even think about talking to AI? What possibilities does that open up for really, truly getting exactly what you need every time instead of just hoping for the best with one particular interface. Something to think about next time you're crafting a